Hi, welcome to the channel. My name is Dan. You're watching DIY for Life. In this video, we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to be making bacon on the classic Weber Kettle Grill. So Japan has excellent food, fruits, vegetables, seafood, meat, all is very delicious. Of course, there's a lot of difference from coming from America on what you'll find at the supermarket. And one thing that I was missing when I moved to Japan is good, crispy, thick, smoky, sweet, salty bacon. There is quite a large processed pork product section at the supermarket where you will find sliced bacon and block bacon, but it's very soft and mild and often very thin cut stuff, more like ham than bacon. So it won't satisfy your kind of American person who loves crispy bacon. So when we moved here, we did bring a bunch of stuff from America, including the classic Weber Kettle Grill. So I have been barbecuing and enjoying using the grill over the last few years. And probably about 6 years ago, I decided I would try to make bacon and watched all the YouTube videos and read all about it. And I tried a variety of different techniques using dry rubs and brines and different seasonings and whatnot. And I've been slowly refining the recipe every time I make it. And the last probably 5 or 6 times, I've kind of settled on one approach that works really well. So in this video, I'll show you my technique for making a really delicious smoked bacon at home. So here in Japan, what you'll find at the supermarket, the best cut of meat for making bacon is this probably chashu is what they would call it. You'll often see these cooked and sliced and put on top of ramen noodles. And it's a really nice piece of meat for making bacon. It's got a good kind of fat to meat ratio, and it's a good size for kind of a small Weber kettle grill. My brine is very simple. It's just 1.5 cups of water, 2.5 tablespoons of salt, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and 1 tablespoon of Vermont maple syrup. Just mix that all up, let it dissolve. Put the meat in a bag, dump in the brine, seal it up, and let it sit in the fridge for 4 or 5 days. I like to turn it every once in a while and just make sure that the brine is really soaking up into the meat. I've tried different things. I've tried using dry rubs. I've tried using, peppercorns. I've experimented with taking this out of the liquid and letting it dry overnight in the fridge before putting it on the grill. But the last few times I've simply taken it out of the bag and put it on the grill, still kind of wet, and it comes out exactly the same as letting it dry overnight. So that cuts out one step of the process. So I think that's about it as far as preparing the meat. I guess where you live, you might find different cuts of meat. So you can, prepare them whichever way you like. Maybe they're much larger in America, I'm sure. These are nice kind of individual size, so you get like, 5 breakfasts or however many BLT sandwiches you can make out of this meat. It's pretty easy, pretty cost effective, and probably the tastiest bacon I've ever had. So let's get the grill ready. I'll show you how I prepare that and the wood chips and the smoking, and that'll be step 2 in this video. So let's get out to the garage and get started on that. Make sure you store it with the lid open. If you close everything, you're going to get some nasty mold in there. American briquettes from Costco, the Weber chimney for starting it. There's some wood chips. These are apple wood, and I also use some chunks of oak because I've got a lot of extra bits of oak for the smoke. So let's get some coals started, and I'll show you how I prep the grill for smoking. One change I've made recently is instead of putting the coals directly onto the grate down there, I've been putting the coals onto this plate. Mostly because the smoke chips I use, those Applewoods ones, are so small that they were kind of just falling through rather than getting burned and creating smoke. The heat will be on that side of the grill. And then the other side of the grill, you'll need a similar size pie pan, and water goes in there. So we got the coals on that side and then a tray of water on the other side. Put the grill on. The meat will be on this side, and then you can drop your bits of wood for creating that nice smoky flavor onto the charcoal. I like to add the wood every 15, 20, 30 minutes, depending on what type of wood you're using throughout the cooking process, which will take about 2 hours. So let's get the meat on the grill and get the smoke happening. You can go skin side up or down. I usually flip it halfway. Okay, now you can go on with your wood. I'm running a little bit low on this Applewood stuff. But I've got plenty of oak. Use these pieces to just drop through the grate. Okay, and then you want to close it up so the smoke will stay inside. Keep the vent on above the meat. Close it most of the way, not all the way, and same thing in the bottom. You still need some air flowing through, and then you can see the smoke is starting to come out. The grill, I'll keep checking on it. I'll probably flip the meat in about an hour. I'll probably do a total of 2 hours of cooking time, and you can just kind of relax, drink a beer, coffee, whatever. But yeah, you want to keep an eye on it and just make sure that it's still smoking. Keep adding wood from time to time. But most of the work is done at this point, so you can just kind of chill and enjoy grilling. Okay, I just flipped them after about 40 minutes. Get the coals going a bit more. Add a few more pieces of wood. Just introducing the air will kind of get the coals going again. Wow, looks pretty good. Well, it's a couple hours later and it's time for lunch. I just brought in this bacon. Don't really want to slice it yet, but just gonna sample a little bit because it just looks and smells so good, and it's been such a long time since I had a nice piece of bacon. Maybe we'll cook some burgers tonight or BLTs. I need some tomatoes. Looks and smells fantastic. Almost doesn't need to be cooked, but the crispiness you can get. Let's just try a little. Oh, it's so good. It's got that stickiness and tenderness, smoky, sweet, salty, meaty and juicy. The fat is so nice. So that's the end. But yeah, you can just eat that. But once you're inside, Cooking it is better. Look at that. Dangerous. Delicious. Came out really good. I highly recommend, if you're interested in bacon and you have a Weber grill, and just a few other odds and ends, you too can make the best bacon in the world. Hope you liked the video. Catch you next time.